Dabeo, motherfuckers.
It's Naruto time.
It's Naruto time. Welcome to the Best Boys Anime Podcast.
Episode
Episode 4.
5?
It's technically 5, but it's 4.
It's 4.
It's 4.
Okay.
For like if we do the other ones as like side casts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the only show where we spend over an hour forgetting the names of everything
That we enjoy.
we enjoy. Spend most of my life enjoying this stuff and can't remember any of it. Today, the plan is to just Naruto the fuck out.
Yeah, we just fancied a good vent about Naruto, didn't we?
Yeah, we both are massive fans of Naruto. So
Yeah.
I'll finish the introduction. I'm Craig. This is Jake.
Hi.
That's Toby.
This is Toby.
Yeah, it's our little sweet pupper boy.
Listeners only, you'll have to watch the YouTube video to see how Toby is glaring at you in through the camera there.
He's a good boy. So I'll kick us off, Jake.
Yeah.
What do you like about Naruto?
Well, I'm gonna hold you there.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask people. You know, we're gonna probably be talking about Naruto for a good hour and a half today.
Yeah.
But we were also thinking of doing a Naruto tier list, weren't we?
Yes.
So we just wanted to know people's opinions on that. You know, we don't have that many listeners at the minute.
No,
but
no.
most of them are people we know, but we thought, you know, we'd ask their opinion.
That would be
beforehand.
a YouTube only thing, wouldn't it? as
YouTube
well?
only,
So
yeah.
This would be a YouTube video and not a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just an
Yeah.
idea we had. So
Yeah. Oh, and we're trying to get into the habit of saying like, follow, subscribe. If you enjoy this stuff, if you're on Spotify, give us a follow and that sort of stuff. We're just trying to get in the swing of, you know,
yeah,
just
we're learning as
we're
we go.
learning. Get a little group going. Try and get a community going. That'd be nice. So have you got anything else?
I think that was most of the important stuff out of the way.
Most of the
Just
important
once
stuff
again,
out of the way.
thank you to everyone who has listened.
Oh yeah,
It's
and
been
thanks for
great to hear from people.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah, so appreciate everyone listening.
So yeah, back to Naruto.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I recently brought that Zabuza statue, didn't I?
Yeah,
It's
you
awesome.
didn't bring it up. We were going to
Didn't
show it
bring it
on the
up, yeah.
YouTube video.
Yeah, I'll bring it up at the end. We'll
Yeah.
pop a little bit in there.
Pop a little bit at the end. If we take a break, we'll go grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where to start? I mean,
When did you start watching Naruto?
later than you did.
Yeah. I mean, I am 2 years older than you.
But you
Yeah.
used to watch it like on Cartoon Network or something like that.
I watched it in my friend's house on DVD, and then once I had caught up to speed with everything else, I watched it, and you'd get like the 3 parts on YouTube back when YouTube's time limit was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So then I was up to date with the Japanese releases because people could put them on YouTube at that point.
Yeah, that's how I watched a lot of it as well. I can't remember where somebody introduced it to me. I think somebody I knew showed it me, and I'd not really I'd recognized it sort of. I'd seen some of the characters before, just around on the internet. And then when I found out what it is, I started watching it all on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I think you just sort of ran out of YouTube videos because most of the time people would be like, you'd be like episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 8.
8, yeah. And you're like, where the hell
Where's
is
the
episode
rest?
5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I started reading the manga when I was like 15 or 16.
Oh yeah, because you was a bigger manga reader, weren't you?
It was a lot easier for me to consume the manga.
I did buy the manga when I was younger.
Yeah,
I did
still
actually
have
yeah.
them all, don't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Right.
I own
What's that?
vast majority of them up to like book 30
odd, yeah.
over there. Yeah, there's another bookshelf over there for video watchers.
You got a bunch of the light novels as well, haven't you?
I do. The light levels are really good. Yeah,
I've heard the Itachi one's really, really good.
The Itachi one is fantastic. And I like the Sasuke ones as well. I think there's 2 Sasuke ones. No, there's 2 Itachis and 1 Sasuke. But the Sasuke one's pretty good. It gives you some like really in-depth knowledge into the Naruto world that you just don't get from like 500 episodes of anime, which is just like I feel like over 500 episodes and however many
They had
chapters,
enough to flesh it out.
They had enough time to put this shit in. But they were saying like in the Sasuke light novel that you know how everyone's like super strong and like because it started off with Hashirama and Madara, who were the guys who were like ludicrously powerful, and most other people weren't. And then in the current generation, you've got Naruto, Sasuke, like the whole gang, all the villains and everyone who is just stupidly powerful, and no one ever really discusses like why.
Why were that many people?
Why is there this many people who are this strong? And in the book, they basically say that they're like a freak generation, and that like the generation after, which technically is now Boruto and isn't following the trend, but they do say in the light novel
It should never.
It just should never happen. There shouldn't be this many people that are this strong. Yeah, at one point in time, and it just causes chaos.
Yeah, I mean, we don't like talking about Boruto, but one of the good things about Boruto is when like Naruto just shows up with like he's got God mode switched on, and everyone's just like, "Why the fuck is that guy so strong?"
Yeah, when Boruto didn't believe that Naruto was that powerful,
he just thought his dad was just like a grumpy old man, and then he just shows up rocking his like Kuruma, like he's got like 8 arms and like those weird black sticks that like delete people's chakra.
Yeah, what were those dots about? You know, over his shoulder.
Yeah, because they started introducing that, didn't they? Like Pain had those like weird black rods that he would stab into people.
And he could do the thing where he goes like, and it would come out of his hand.
Yeah, and it would like affect people's like chakra control or something like that. And then the orbs were like a similar thing to that.
Yeah. Oh, we should say we are going to spoil the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, this episode's for us, really.
This is for us. We just wanted to do this.
We're using our outlet to geek out. Yeah. And you guys have to deal with it.
Yeah. So if you are, I mean, Naruto's been out long enough now. There's a lot of it. But
if you get spoiled, it's your fault because Craig's been watching it since he was like 8.
I've been watching it a long time. You had your chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, the little black dots on his thing, because even. Here I go, Obito. Even Obito could do it. Like, he had those things that he could shoot out of his hand as well.
Yeah, they didn't really. I mean, it might just be my memory, but in my memory, they didn't really explain it much. They sort of just threw it at you.
But that was Shippuden as a whole.
Yeah.
They sort of go the power level and the whole scaling thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's quite an interesting topic, actually. Like the difference between Naruto and Shippuden and how they deal with the changes, because he definitely did not plan the Ninja War to go on that long.
No.
And I also don't think he actually planned Shippuden.
There's a really, like, there's a lot of cool stuff in Shippuden. A lot of the fights and jutsus are really cool, but base Naruto, like, chakra seemed really, because I think, like, Dragon Ball Z, I was aware, was an anime at that point before I started doing Naruto, and I really enjoyed it, but it was really over the top. They're shooting beams at each other that delete planets.
Yeah.
And then you go to Naruto, and it takes him like an entire episode to learn to climb a tree. And it was quite nice to see.
The coolest shit. And I still prefer that now.
Yeah, it was really nice. And like how he planned it all, like, he had to work on his body and his mind and all that sort of kind of thing. And like, it took him ages to learn simple shit, like shooting a fireball. But then by the end, they're like summoning gods and like. And
they're like, you've got Naruto's got the fox that then wears Sasuke's armor as a. Like the thing that he can summon, and it wears.
And that stuff is cool, but it was very. Naruto was very well paced, and then Shippuden picked up the pace a lot. From when Naruto went from his like just his Rasengan to that giant flying shuriken that like just makes people explode.
The Rasen Shuriken.
The Rasen Shuriken, because he like couldn't throw it at first.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he could throw it, and then once he learned how to throw it, he could like he could destroy people on a cellular level. I remember reading that in the manga.
Yeah.
He had a weird phase where he brought up cellular level a lot.
Yeah.
Where he was learning the Rasen Shuriken, like the author was always talking about like destroying things on a cellular level, like all the time.
He had a lot of things. Like there's quite a lot in Naruto that appears a few times, and then he's like, no, fuck it off. The bingo book.
Yes.
Do you remember the bingo book? From, like,
Zabuza's bingo book.
And
Kakashi had a bingo book.
Kakashi had a bingo book, and then that dude who's like, "Hello, my fellow children," when he's doing the like tuning exam for the 400th time.
Oh yeah.
Is it Kabuto?
Kabuto, yeah. The guy with the big round glasses.
He's got big round glasses, and he's like 25 in a room full of 11-year-olds.
Do you remember he had those like Yu-Gi-Oh cards where he put chakra through them? It would show everyone's stats.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they did that once.
They did it in the tuning exam, and that was it. It looked like, but they introduced like it was going to be a massive thing throughout the whole reason. Like people would get out a card and go, "Oh, that's so and so," and it would like bring all
the stats.
Yeah, and it just.
I bet one of the editors were like, "That's a good idea," and they put it in, and then another editor saw it and was like, "No!" And I just slapped it out of his hand.
Get the fuck out of here!
No, we're not doing this in this.
Yeah.
And they would like the power scaling, just sort of. Me and you have had this discussion. I don't know if we've said it on the podcast, but we were talking about we didn't like Dragon Ball Super because it was just shitty compared. But I mean, like as a fan of GT, I am aware that I'm in the minority with my tastes. But if I could do Super 2, I would have an arc and just put a lot of money into the animation quality and get good animators, and just have a Budokai Tenkaichi tournament.
Yeah,
like
bring it back to basics.
Bring it back to basics, and I would introduce rules where there would be like no going Super Saiyan, no energy weapons,
like no flying,
no flying.
Yeah,
like we're gonna do a human-ass tournament, and then get all the other people from the other universes to come over and have just a hand-to-hand combat thing. Because I want to see Goku do judo again.
Yeah,
like I want to see him do. You go back to like the original Dragon Ball, and it's the same as Naruto, where you see people like hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, because it also like it makes it more interesting because. If you did hand-to-hand combat, like Super, you're basically just waiting for Goku to win. The whole thing was just waiting for Goku to go have
the whole thing was an
gray
ass pull
hair.
Anyway. The whole ending was like, oh, I've turned on win mode.
Yeah.
Like, oh, now I can do it.
But I can't really control it yet, so we haven't written ourselves into a corner just yet.
No, but if we ever need to like win a battle,
I'll just turn
Ultra
on.
Instinct.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, whereas like if you had just hand-to-hand combat, Yamcha could come back, Tien could come back. Like they're all can hold their own.
Yeah.
Like, they're still probably going to lose, but at least it's more interesting than, like...
Get Krillin back. Make Krillin relevant again. It makes all the older cast relevant. People, because, like, the problem that Naruto and Sasuke have is that by the end of Naruto, they are literally gods. No one else matters. And mine and your favorite character is Rock Lee.
Rock Lee's amazing. He's the best.
Rock Lee is the best. And I want that for Naruto. I want a Boruto to be like, oh, well, the next generation... It turns out they've all had kids and they're not as powerful as they are.
Yeah.
But they are really good at martial arts. And I just wanted it to go back to basics and to get, like, for Boruto to be like, okay, here, we're going to watch them learn to climb a tree. We're going to watch them learn to stand on water.
Yeah.
We're going to watch them, like, how to throw a ninja tool. Because you see, like, Sasuke practicing at the beginning with the throwing the ninja stars and Naruto trying to do it and not being able to get all, like, the 5 different stars and the 5 targets. That is what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're very similar mindset. We're simple men. We like underdogs that try really hard, and once they've worked really, really, really hard, they get really good, and they don't let it go to their head.
No.
But like Boruto, by that point, it's too late. Like Boruto come out the womb with like a weird ghost eye thing that, like,
and then he's got like a separate chakra type. And...
Yeah, he's got like wind style and like something else, and some weird special chakra type. And even like his little sister's got like super Byakugan or something like that.
Yeah, and they all just come out like it's just. I find that once you get beyond a certain level, it gets boring. Like the stakes are too high.
Not interesting.
It's not relatable.
Like when they've got all these amazing powers, but also the story's not going anywhere. Like there's an episode where he's a postman.
Yeah.
Like,
is that filler or?
I probably.
Oh, Boruto. Yeah, where they go out and be postmen.
Yeah, and like, oh yeah, I've got god powers, but I'm just gonna go deliver mail. Like, okay, yeah.
All right.
But then you go take it back to original Naruto, where Naruto's first mission, they go to help a bridge builder, and they get attacked by Zabuza, who was like a really like. If you compare Zabuza to like the villains in Shippuden, like Zabuza's nothing. He was just a dude with a sword, but he was such a threat. When
I
you
like
first
him
watched
so
it.
much more. He's terrifying.
When
I watched him when I was younger, I was like, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah, where he just like fucking frisbees his sword and it sticks in that tree, and then he just jumps and lands on it. Yeah, you're like, what? Who is this guy?
Fuck? Yeah. And then they tell you his backstory before you learn about Gaara, and he's like, oh, when he was a kid, he like walked into a school or whatever and killed everyone.
It was their version of the tuning exam, and he was
they
just
had
like,
to fight, which is not a great way
they had to kill one person to pass, and he just killed all of them.
And then they were like, no, it's like, you can't do that. Which technically should make him the best ninja, and instead it got him kicked out of the village, right? I swear that the Mist Village got rid of him. I might be wrong. But...
I mean, they didn't really put much into the seven swordsmen of the Mist. They introduced that and was like, oh, I can't wait to meet the next like 6 swordsmen. Yeah. I don't think you meet another one until... I know there's like 1 or 2 more in Naruto, but they're filler episodes.
As in that guy, the Kisame with the fish sword.
Kisame is one of them. He's in Shippuden, but he's like,
And he gets Zabuza's sword later on, right?
No.
But he does get another
Kisame
sword.
is the Sharky man.
Yeah.
And then but then there's that like white-haired guy that can turn into liquid. He gets Zabuza's sword.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wants to collect all 7 of them. Because that's another interesting one. Is like the goals of all the characters.
Yeah.
They introduced there was a big cast, and they all had goals, and you knew every single person's goal, and they were all working towards them. But it didn't really spend much time fleshing out any of them other than the main characters.
Yeah. I mean, you get more earlier on, don't you? Because you get like Rock Lee, you get Gaara gets a lot of the story.
Yeah,
it's hard to remember, but Sasuke is not the main character, and Sasuke gets almost half the story dedicated to him. For a show called Naruto, not a great deal of time spent on Naruto.
And I feel like, like them all achieving their goals, like they all had different goals, like but Sasuke achieved his goal of avenging his like family and killing his brother, but then just sort of didn't know what the fuck to do next.
But that's what I like about it.
Well, I think that was that is a really interesting bit, but I don't think it was done very well.
I loved it. I thought it was me and you differ a lot on our opinions on Sasuke.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, we might agree on like 95% of things, but Sasuke is a proper.
Yeah, that's an agreement there that differs.
Yeah.
I like, I understand that he was all over the place, but I think from the character point of view, it was good. But from the off, I think if you'd have planned it out a little bit more, it'd have been better.
It takes a long time to get there. It's like a trail, and like I don't think he really knew where Sasuke was going. But
he just didn't know what to do with him, did he?
No. But as you work up to Itachi and like Sasuke, literally from day one when they introduce Sasuke, Sasuke's like, I have a goal. I have someone I want to kill. And that's it. And you just know from his whole, which is sort of what Naruto lacks, because Naruto's like, Hokage, maybe.
I'll figure it out somehow. I can't climb a tree yet, but I'll definitely become ninja president.
That's why Sasuke's a better character, because he has a defined goal, and he is like
in Naruto, true, but I think once he reaches his goal, just a bit sloppy. I feel like
after Itachi, it's a shit show.
Yeah, because I feel like. Maybe he wanted him to be a bad guy and stay a bad guy, like join the Akatsuki, but then he'd be like wishy-washy about that because he joins the Akatsuki and he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and also the author did put in his book like early on that Sasuke is his favorite character.
Yeah,
like he should have just made it.
He should have just made.
It should have just been about Sasuke, because the Uchiha clan and all that stuff is way more interesting.
There's way more flesh in there than anything else.
Than anything that Naruto's dad did. You don't even learn about Naruto's dad well later on,
like halfway through Shippuden.
Yeah. He has like I know that shonen protagonists, they're meant to be blank slates, aren't they? That people
can self-insert.
So you can self-insert all these teenagers in Japan who like work longer hours than we do, and they're kids.
Yeah, and go to school.
And go to school. They need some relief, and these characters are meant to be like, oh, it's me. Like they're supposed to see themselves in them, but that just means. Everyone other than the main character is more interesting to us in the West, I think, or at least me.
Yeah. I don't like. Naruto's kind of cool, but he's not the most interesting character.
No, and Sasuke. What I liked about the Itachi thing is that I think it was the first story. Bearing in mind that I got to this point when I was pretty young, it was the first story where like. Day one, this guy's like, I'm gonna fucking kill a guy. I'm gonna kill him. Like I said, there's someone you don't know who it is, but you're like, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And I literally grew up with that, with this watching him, like his conflict with Naruto, everything else. Because Sasuke is my favorite character, but like, watching his conflict with Naruto and how he deals with it, and like, as an adult, I think you can both Naruto and Sasuke, you can empathize with like. A lot of people seem to write, like YouTube essays and stuff.
Yeah.
They seem to analyze these characters' behaviors with the insight of a 30-year-old, and they forget that these are 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Like they forget
when they first fight in the
in the valley, like
they're like 12.
Yeah, they're not. I don't know how old they are, but it's not.
They're not very old.
They're not very old.
Yeah, and they're like it's two 12-year-olds trying to murder each other.
Yeah.
The fuck out. And then 30-year-old men are like. Yeah, so what you realise here is like...
like those frames with the red circle.
Yeah. He's got a very childish judgment. He's like, yes, because he's a child.
Because he's a child, yeah. And like, I literally grew up as Sasuke was like going through all this stuff. And as I got older, I started to understand his behaviour more. So it's more like, it's because I spent such a long time with him. But then I was like rooting for him. But then I loved Itachi, and I was like, oh no, Itachi. And then they're going to fight eventually. And it gets to that thing, and Sasuke has lost all of his friends, left the village, like killed loads of people, like basically got bum raped by Orochimaru to gain strength.
Yeah.
And then goes to fight Itachi and would have lost. Would have lost if he had not had a serious disease that kills him.
And Itachi, like, probably wasn't really trying his hardest anyway.
No, Itachi was never gonna hurt him.
No,
like
he was just like, "Oh no, you got me!" And Sasuke, was like putting his 110%.
Yeah,
like
Sasuke jobbed hard. He was always just never. He was never as strong as Itachi. Yeah, he's never gonna get him. And it's the first story that I watched, and like it got to that point, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like. What the? And it just blew my mind. I was like, the disease killed him? Like, when he does the thing, like, he taps his head. I was like, are you fucking... what?
Yeah.
And you get to see Sasuke, who realizes that this guy that he always wanted to be better as, even in death, was not as strong as. His brother still loved him from birth and prioritized his well-being over
every single
else.
person on the planet, yeah.
He has gone through, like... Admittedly, Itachi didn't do a great job in letting him know that, by the way, I might have killed your family, but I did it for a reason.
Yeah.
And you just get to see this guy, like, have, for me, what would have been 6 to 7 years of reading the manga.
It's like heavily investment.
It's heavy investment. And then for all of it to be, like, flipped on its head. And for me to go, like, oh, no.
Yeah, the bit where where he dies, like just before he dies, he taps his head and you think he's like going through his eyes and like everyone's shitting the pants. Sasuke's shitting himself. I'm shitting myself. We're all watching it play out, and then he just pokes his head and you're like, oh god, I'm feeling something there. But I think that's like the beauty of Naruto is like me and you are both obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our friends really like it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of childhood attachment from me and you, isn't there? Like we grew up with it. Like that. That's one of the moments that's just in there forever.
Yeah.
As well as Rock Lee taking off his leg weights. I think probably changed my life. Like there's definitely like when you see something and like lightning strikes in your brain and it scars the memory in there.
Yeah. And you're like, well, that's never leaving.
Yeah. yeah, basically. And then they try and do it again in that like filler episode where like a guy they're in a running race.
Oh, right.
And just some jobber guy tries to do the leg weight thing, and it just there's no build up, there's no nothing.
You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice.
No,
you can't do it. It's like with the whole disease killer Itachi. One of my favorite weird offshoot characters that gets like 0 time is the bone dude, Kimimaru or something.
Yeah, because he dies, doesn't he? He's about to like push Gaara's shit in, and then dies an inch away from his face with his big bone drill.
Yeah.
And then just dies.
That is because Kishimoto was like, oh, fuck.
I had plans for Gaara. What am I going to do?
I don't want to kill Gaara. It was ass pull central. He'd got to the point where he was like, oh, I got to pull some out back. I know, Goku's heart disease.
But real quick.
Oh, yeah. I
mean, all those like Kimimaru's like squad with all these like the curse mark people. It was like they were quite interesting, but I kind of forget that they existed. Yeah. There's that like spider guy who could shoot a bow and arrow. Yeah. His curse mark was just that he turned into like a spider monster.
The curse mark also ends up just being like, it sort of goes nowhere. You know, like even once you get to Shippuden, does he even still use it?
I think Itachi sucks it out, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole reason he used the Susanoo, because he had that weird like gourd thing that could just eat it. And that was the only reason that he used the Susanoo. He didn't need to use it. He just like had to pretend to be losing enough to bring it out, and then used it to eat Orochimaru's like snaky business.
Yeah, and it's just that whole thing sort of fizzles out. The curse,
but then they do bring it back because they'll have that Jugo guy.
Yeah,
Jugo, the ginger guy that hangs around with Sasuke.
Yeah,
his like the curse mark originated from his body.
Yeah, I don't. This is where my memory gets wavy because you remember Shippuden way better than I do. I just don't have that much interest in it compared to the first half of Naruto.
I mean, did you watch it? Because I think it's quite a long watch.
I dropped it because they had Toby, and I was reading it week by week at that point, and I think I said in like year 9, I was like, that's Obito. And like in year 11, Toby, they do the big reveal.
I mean, it's almost an anagram, isn't it? It's only missing like a few letters.
It's missing one letter.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and then he takes his mask off, and everyone, like, I was looking on, because I used to browse Reddit forums and stuff, like, week by week to see what people were saying, and, like, everyone was like, oh my fucking god, I didn't know it was Obito, and I was like, I called it 2 fucking years ago, and I was like, no, fuck this, and just, like, stopped reading it. I had a break, and then I come back and, like, caught up, but because I pretty much read all of the bits that I missed so fast, I just don't remember it at all, and then I've never gone back over it.
Do you know what I think is a bit of a crime?
Mm-hmm.
How much of a jobber Kakashi becomes.
Yeah.
They just use him as a benchmark for the power ceiling, don't they? Like, because Kakashi, when he fights Zabuza, you're like, man, Kakashi ain't nothing to fuck with. Like, and the amount of times that he just shows up and finishes the job.
Yeah.
And like even like when you go to the flashbacks, you remind me when you start talking about Obito. Because when he's a kid, he's just like insane, isn't he?
Absolutely. They used to send him on like S-rank missions,
like on his own.
On his own, yeah,
and he'd just get it done.
Yeah, and they would be like, "Oh, Kakashi can go to." And Obito, like Obito was Naruto, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, they end up linking the two together because Obito wanted to be Hokage and just could never catch up to Kakashi.
Yeah.
But like they never really make the use of it.
When he first reveals his Sharingan, you're like, what?
What the fuck? And especially because like then Sasuke knows that it's is he an Uchiha?
Yeah, like Sasuke just doesn't know what's going on.
Sasuke,
he's like kind of pissed off, kind of terrified, like.
Yeah. But Kakashi definitely was alive when all of the Uchiha were killed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why he must know that him taking his showing the Sharingan would fuck with Sasuke. They never do anything about it. They never really.
They're on a mission. It's do or die. Get used to it, kid.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and I do quite like that though. There's a lot of like reflections and correlations throughout the generations. Like you said, they really mirror Obito with like Naruto and Kakashi with Sasuke, and then it like goes even further back, doesn't it? With like the Senjus and all that way back when.
Well, they split off and become the different clans. Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's all that sort of like there's a good. He really got the lineage sorted out, like how Naruto's dad taught Jiraiya the Rasengan, and then Jiraiya taught Naruto it, and it's just all the dots connect.
They all connect, but it does take him a while to get there, doesn't it?
It takes him a while to, but I feel like the dots were there, and halfway through he's like, oh shit, and like put them together, and he's like, I'm a genius.
Did a Bob Ross, what a happy little accident. Kakashi, do you remember when everyone used to be like, they'd meet someone and someone would go, that's Kakashi, and everyone would just like drop a load and they'd shit their pants. They'd drop a log.
Yeah.
And so you get people going, oh my god, that's Kakashi. He's the copycat ninja.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did that go?
Yeah.
When people would be like, he can copy shit just by looking at you, and everyone would just shit their pants. And at some point, it just goes away. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be where he's fighting. I'm going to bring up Zabuza a lot. That'd be where they're fighting Zabuza, and he does that water dragon jutsu, and Zabuza thinks that he's doing it before, like Kakashi's doing it before he is, and he's reading his mind, but he's just psyching him out so much that he thinks...
Like the mind games.
Yeah, the mind games he used to play. Yeah.
Kakashi used to play 11-dimensional chess.
I mean, he genuinely could copy someone's jutsu because he's got a Sharingan in his head.
But that also goes away. Copying people's abilities.
That was how it was introduced, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a super powerful eye that could copy a jutsu just by looking at it.
Yeah.
They barely ever did it.
No, and then because Sasuke could go around copying people's jutsus, and he just doesn't.
Never.
I've got a dead leg. My leg is so dead.
I'm
really trying now. Let's have a quick break.
Are we having a fake out?
We'll come back in 2.
Right.
So we were picking up at Sasuke could have gone around and just copied people's jutsus and had just he went everywhere and he met loads of people. He could have just had what do you call it? A armory of jutsus.
A menagerie.
A menagerie, yeah. He could have had a shitload. Instead, he's fucking fireball jutsu.
Yeah, I think that was one of the flaws of Naruto, is the characters didn't have... A lot of the characters had special, unique abilities, but not many of them had many abilities. Like, Naruto was fucking Rasengan, fucking really big Rasengan, really, really big Rasengan. And then Sasuke had a bit of variety. He had a fireball jutsu, that weird Phoenix fire jutsu, which had a cool name, but looked like little like seeds that were on fire.
Yeah.
And then he had his Chidori, and that was it.
Yeah. Chidori though.
Chidori's cool.
It was fucking
awesome. When he runs down that wall and he's got all the belts on his arms.
Oh baby, that's my favorite Sasuke.
So Sasuke does get a bit of it because he gets like the Amaterasu and all that stuff.
Sasuke gets more abilities than Naruto does.
Yeah.
Naruto gets like Sage Mode, I guess.
But... Yeah, Sage Mode was quite cool. I did like that. I did like Sage Mode. And then it got weird when Kabuto turned into like a weird dragon lizard man.
Wasn't he a snake as well?
Yeah, he was like a snake. Yeah. He learned like the snake sage thing, and he's like, but snakes are like dragons, so also I'm a dragon as well.
That's Shippuden though for you.
Yeah, that was Shippuden. That was the end of the Great Ninja War. So
yeah,
it was kind of like that.
Yeah, it'd just be like it do because the Ten Tails is just wiling out and
Kabuto was in a cave and Sasuke and Itachi were fighting him in a cave, and he was a dragon.
Yeah. So we were talking probably about 20 minutes ago about moments in Naruto that are etched into your mind.
Yeah.
Can you give me like off the top of your head your top 3 of the like Naruto moments where you're like, oh my god, that's never leaving me. I'm gonna think about this every day.
Top 3. Yeah. Oh my. Well, obviously Rock Lee dropping his leg weights is in there. Yeah. Like, how many times have we terrorized people? We're watching Rock Lee versus Gaara AMVs. I mean, you're making your own.
I am making my own Gaara. Yeah, I am. Yeah. That's a present to you. No, it's not. You asked for what AMV did you ask me to make? You asked me to make you one as a gift, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh well, I'm not sure. It was probably some sort of shit post.
It was a Naruto one. You wanted me to make a Naruto AMV for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Naruto versus Rock Lee, definitely. Not Gaara versus Rock Lee, definitely up there. Him dropping the leg weights. Big mood. Yeah. Probably Pain versus Jiraiya as well.
Yeah. You know, that's a part of Naruto I don't remember too well.
Yeah. It was kind of a weird bit, wasn't it? Yeah. It just sort of happened out of nowhere. He just wound up in the Village of the Rain to do some like snooping about, and then he gets ganged up on by Pain and. Yeah, then he dies.
And you're like, well, fuck, yeah.
Man. I think
more Jiraiya's death.
It was Jiraiya's death. It was like, it was watching how it affected Naruto at the time. Because like you say, we both grew up with it, and at the time, like, young teenagers were feeling a lot of feelings, and then watching, like, one of your favourite characters watch what was essentially his dad die, and just sitting in the park and not knowing what to do, and I was just like, oh shit. I think it was, like, probably one of the few medias that had made me, like, relate to somebody and actually like, because usually like in a movie they'll be like, this is the character, he's fell in love with a girl and then the girl dies. I'm like, I don't care.
I couldn't give a shit.
I don't know that girl.
It's why like whatever that like Stars in Your Eyes or whatever that movie was called, where one of those cancer bait movies where they get together and one of them's going to tragically die, and I spend the whole movie bored out my mind because I just don't give a fuck.
Because I don't give a fuck. Whereas like with Naruto, it very much appealed to me because I like Naruto, I like Jiraiya, and he was a father figure to him, and I related entirely. But like, so that's probably 2, and then 3. What's a good third one to finish off with? Because goddamn, there was a lot of Naruto.
There's a lot of moments in Naruto for you to recall,
and it's all good. I quite just like the sort of the universe, like how all the chakra and the summoning and all that works. So yeah, some of the training arcs were good.
Yeah.
Like him learning Sage Mode and learning how to do different stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah. For all of the parts in Naruto, there's just like for you to scan the whole thing, it's pretty difficult, isn't it?
And
especially
on the spot.
Yeah.
What about you? You got one? Who you got?
Yeah. Well, before you get to me, I've actually got a point about Jiraiya that I want to bring up.
Go on.
How fucking bullshit is it that they bring back everyone in the Ninja War, everyone, and then they no Jiraiya though.
Oh, what, when they reincarnate all the like zombies,
Minato's
back, all the dead Hokage,
Hokage,
all of them,
Hashirama, the wood guy, whatever, is that Hashirama? Yeah, and like Madara's back. And then I was
like the Seven Swordsmen. You bring all of them back at the same time.
Well, and then I looked at the reason why, and the reason that they gave us, they're like, well, he was at the bottom of the ocean. Well, fucking all the other people are in the ground or incinerated or something. They all come back.
They all come back. Yeah.
Bring Jiraiya back, bro. I was gutted.
Not okay.
Really wound me up.
Yeah, I never really stopped to think about that. That is bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone gets resurrected, but not Jiraiya.
I mean, it was already bullshit because in the Pain arc, they bring everybody back to life who died in the war, like the attack. And they also they don't bring Jiraiya back.
I actually never thought about that.
He's like, oh, sorry, my bad. Let me just resurrect Kakashi because people are mad that I killed Kakashi.
Yeah.
So he brings like everyone in the village who got killed, but he doesn't bring Jiraiya back.
That's after the like almighty push, right?
Yeah, he does like his like
what's it called? The Konoha 9/11.
when he 9/11s the Leaf Village. And then he's like, whoopsie, my bad. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, post on Reddit?
Yeah, am I the asshole?
I'm an eternal tree man who's pissed off and controls bullets.
Genocided a ninja village, am I the asshole? Then Naruto was like, yes, so he uses his like weird magic chakra to bring everyone back to life.
To make him bring his friends back.
Yeah. But then Jiraiya doesn't get brought back, so that's twice he doesn't get reincarnated when he should have.
He proper dabs on Jiraiya for no good reason. Yeah, I really didn't. Also, that after Pain, that is when Naruto starts going downhill.
Yeah,
I think
rapidly.
Because the almighty push thing, you've got like the thing that you were looking that I looked for at the end of the series is like like moments like with Itachi where you have big final moments. Like that's it, it's changed now. It's never coming back. And like. They killed Itachi, amazing. They killed Kakashi, and I was like, whoa now, are you serious? And then Pain destroys Konoha, and then they just do the Dragon Ball, like, the Rossetti no regretty move. And then like
Rossetti no regretty jutsu.
Yeah. And set it all back, and like, that when anime starts doing that, I'm like, right, so now this story is pointless.
Oh, look, the author's backpedaling.
Yeah, there is no stakes at all because no one's gonna die now. They can't kill him off because they might want to carry on making statues of the character.
Yeah. So what is a good other final bit is when Shikamaru is like gets rid of that Hidan. The guy with the scythe.
Oh god, yeah, that's so satisfying.
Yeah, where they blow up that massive hole and they throw him in it, and he's like, because it was like he worshipped some guy called Jashin, didn't he? So they didn't really give you much to go on. He was just like, I just worship this guy and he makes me immortal.
Yeah, you would have thought more people had got in on that shit.
Yeah, you'd think so, but where he's just like, yeah, that Lord Jashin guy isn't your god anymore, I am, bitch, and then just like blows him up at the bottom of a bottomless pit.
And he's like, but I'm not gonna die, and he's like, I know. So even at the end of the Ninja War,
he's just in
Hidan is just in bits at the bottom of a hole, stuck there forever. They could do that in Boruto.
They could bring him back.
They could bring Hidan back.
That would be amazing.
It would be.
If there's just somebody like excavating a tunnel and he's just in there.
And Hidan's just like, what up, motherfuckers? I'm still alive. And then you have Boruto who has to fight Hidan. And Naruto could just be like moseying about and be like, you? Wait a minute. Yeah, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But I think one of the parts that I was thinking whilst you were talking is the Obito versus Kakashi fight.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just unreal. I think it's possibly one of the best fight scenes in anime, especially when you're invested in Naruto.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah. Like, it's, like you say, both emotionally, like, the way, the choreography, like, it's, the fight itself is a masterpiece, but the investment you have in it is also, like, adds to it.
Yeah. Which is why he shouldn't have killed Kakashi, because he definitely knew he wanted to have him fight
to do
Obito.
that. Yeah.
So he should have just not
bothered trying to.
Oh god! Oh, when they were like, Kakashi's just like, they were like, oh, your dad's a dickhead, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Why'd he do that?
Yeah, because his dad like killed himself, didn't he?
Yeah, his dad killed himself out of like shame.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are they doing Kakashi like this? His best friend dead and then comes back as an asshole zombie. Girl he loved. Wasn't it?
He didn't like it.
It wasn't. It was Obito's girl. Yeah. Was it? But like, yeah, and he goes, you know, when we're talking about like things where you would imagine have a massive impact, and he probably just didn't think about it. The reason that Kakashi was late for the training is because every day he went to Obito's grave. Was it?
Yeah, but Obito was always late as well.
Yeah,
Obito was late every day and always had like a weird excuse. Yeah. And then Kakashi was always late because he would go and visit his grave and then come back with a shit excuse.
Yeah, go visit and carry on the thing of the trope of being late because of Obito. And then Obito's alive.
The entire time.
And I don't think you ever get to see Kakashi be like, do you know how much time I spent stood at your grave, you dickhead?
Yeah.
And now you're just here, like, trying to fuck everything up. Like,
Yeah, I think like he should have been more mad at Obito for that.
yeah. I definitely wanted to see, like, an emotionally charged sort of Kakashi, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, it ruined Kakashi's life, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
He was never the same after Obito died. And then Obito is actually alive
The entire
time, and you never.
But they're
get
like both hating on each other.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They were best friends.
they were both blaming each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there was it was a big shit show. Whatever happened, wasn't it? When like he died.
Yeah.
And like Rin got stabby-doo-walked by Kakashi.
And Kakashi took Obito's eye as a gift. Okay. Yeah. They never. Where was that? I guess they could put it in a light novel that I haven't read.
I mean, it's in there. Like, it just was a bit of a messy situation because I think he stabs her because she had like one of the tailed beasts inside her or something.
Yeah.
It was just a weird situation.
It's just a thing. Yeah. Just thinking about it, you would imagine Kakashi would have been more mad for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he cared about him so much, he saw him all the time, and then was just like. They had that cool fight, but where was the drama? Where was the drama,
Where was
bro?
the resolution?
Yeah. So other than that, probably close to Hidan, the Kakuzu Kakashi fight.
Oh yeah.
Remember that when the dude who had like 4 hearts?
Yeah,
and then he could
yeah.
put them into.
Yeah, where he sneaks up on him and like lightning blades him from behind because it's not a Chidori, it's a lightning blade.
Yeah. Even though he taught him Chidori.
Kakashi calls it lightning blade, but Sasuke calls it Chidori, which is the same move.
He taught him Chidori. He calls it Chidori in the first Naruto, doesn't he?
He like its official name is Chidori, but Kakashi likes to call it lightning blade for some reason. Unless that was just like the English, I don't know.
Yeah, could be a translation thing.
Yeah. I just remember Kakashi really liked calling it lightning blade.
Yeah, and he's like, the fight scene's really well done. The animation in Shippuden just like ramps up when they need it to. And that fight scene's just perfecto. And then probably I'm trying to do ones that aren't as obvious, but then probably Asuma's death. Yeah. Asuma hit hard more because I liked Shikamaru.
Yeah.
I liked Shikamaru.
Also, Azuma was like such a background character, but I was so invested in him every time I just saw him in the background because he was so cool.
Yeah, he was.
He just like had trench knives as a weapon and like just had a really really cool design.
And he had like a low key relationship. Like he was definitely banging that woman with the who used to wear the scrolls and she had long shaggy black hair.
Who had red eyes, so she looked like she had a Sharingan, but she didn't.
Yeah, it was just like another eye thing that was going on in there.
Yeah,
they definitely had a relationship.
Azuma, they had a kid. Azuma was like the third Hokage's nephew or something.
Yeah.
Or son.
Which would explain the hair and the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was related to him.
And they never really bring that up
until after he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you have Konohamaru running around and like.
That's it. I think Azuma was like his son, but then Konohamaru is like the third Hokage's like nephew or grandson.
Grandson. This is grandson.
Something like that.
Yeah. And I think it was more the impact that like I loved him as a character, but he never got much screen time. But then seeing the effect that it has, I'm starting to notice that one of my favorite parts of Naruto is grief.
It's like,
what does it say about me?
Watching father figures die and be like, that's gonna stick with me forever.
Just seeing Shikamaru, because Shikamaru starts smoking.
He does. He starts smoking. He uses Azuma's trench knives throughout that whole fight, but then he stops using it. I feel like he should have carried on.
He should have carried on.
Probably not carry on smoking, but definitely carry on using the trench knives because they were cool.
They were cool, and
they proper fleshed them out as well. They said they had they were made out of special metal that
chakra blades
reflected the chakra of whatever you used. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just sort of
because when Azuma used them, he just turned them into swords. But Shikamaru, whenever he threw them, it would like pin the shadow to him and stuff like that. So that was cool.
Yeah. I just feel like there's so many bits and bobs in Naruto that they didn't need to do Boruto. They could have just done like 20 side stories and just like fleshed out these little moments into proper things that you wouldn't see in the main story because it was a weekly manga. They could have done the whole it is slice of life. There's no fighting, but here's Shikamaru.
I feel like there's a lot of interesting bits in Naruto, like the transformations. Like people used to just disguise themselves as other people, and they did it a lot in Naruto, but then they kind of just forgot about it.
Yeah, and that thing where people would have that cloth where they'd stand up, hold it up against the wall, and then they used it as a gag. But also, You're right. What about when people just used to like disappear into logs?
Yeah.
Like they just explode and they're like
Like the substitution.
the substitution jutsu. I'm sure that disappears.
Yeah, I think they just sort of start like taking each other's jutsus face to face, don't they?
Yeah.
And just blocking it and shit like that.
Yeah,
Whereas, they used to disappear and.
Yeah.
I just feel like the transformation one, like Naruto just used to turn into a girl, like just used to turn into a naked girl, yeah. And he just like, yeah, it's just a weird.
Yeah.
I mean, they use it at the end, don't they?
Yeah.
They do like a reverse one where they all turn into like naked men against the Kaguya.
Which is the dumbest shit.
It's the dumbest shit. It was quite funny because it was the last thing he was expecting, but it was dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. Like super serious story.
Yeah. And like I really like the summoning. That I would have wanted more of that because it was just cool. They used to just summon all sorts. Like Jiraiya did it a lot with the toads.
You've mentioned this before about how you wanted more out of the like.
Yeah, because some of it was really cool, and they
Kakashi and his dogs.
Yeah, Kakashi had like a pack of dogs. They didn't really add much. Like, they didn't really explain where they got them from. They just had a contract with like these animals that could usually talk.
Where the fuck are they?
Because Sasuke had a hawk or something like that. He had like a giant bird.
Yeah.
And it was kind of boring. But he had one. And he had that giant snake as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
That he got from Orochimaru.
Yeah, and then he just goes away again. It's another thing. Yeah. Another one where they were like, they have a really cool thing and then it fizzles out for laser beams and...
Yeah, because there was a filler episode that was quite good where they had like... There was a giant swordfish that got summoned and it never went away. It was just like in this ocean, like causing havoc because it's like... Sword bit was just a literal sword.
Yeah.
It was just like a giant ass swordfish with a sword for a face.
Yeah.
And it was like Might Guy, the Yamato, the wood guy.
Yeah.
And like a few other people that were just trying to hunt it down.
Wait, do you remember? You know the Sai?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, that Ambu.
Yeah.
That Ambu was so cool when you get introduced, and they were just.
That's another thing that like, disappears, isn't it?
Yeah, the Ambu Black Ops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and they just.
Because Kakashi used to be an Ambu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was like a teenager. When he was
and they used to just show up on rooftops and you'd be like, what?
What the fuck are they doing there? Because the Ambu they police the tuning exam.
Yeah, and they were like special operatives.
Yeah.
And they were like working in the shadows and stuff, and they just never really got any...
Never got any limelight, they never do anything.
And then they had Root, which is like the cadet training for the Ambu, which was what Sai was from, and Sai was just so not interesting at all.
What was Sai even meant to be? What was he meant to do?
Like a B&M bargain Sasuke replacement.
He was literally just like a plain black and white guy who's just he did nothing. He was as plain as you can get.
Yeah, it was really, really not great.
No.
I mean, his jutsu was kind of interesting. He would draw shit and it would appear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just boring.
Yeah, he didn't do a great deal.
Yeah.
A better version of something like that is Deodara. I've always liked Deodara.
Deodara was, yeah,
with the clay things.
The clay things, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
There was a good fight as well between him and Sasuke.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Because Sasuke used like his lightning to like interrupt the detonators and stuff like that in his clay.
It was a good one where it wasn't just like powers go burr, was it?
Yeah.
There's some thought into it.
Yeah, because they had that weird bit where they really introduced like Pokemon style like lightning's better against this and fire's better against this, and they had introduced it and showed like this little map, and then they just got rid of it.
Yeah, that's another one. They're just like, fuck it off. But then it comes back in Boruto.
Does it?
Yeah, because they're talking about like how certain chakras better than other. And it just like they just bring stuff in and out as they see fit.
Yeah, because I remember when they were training Naruto and he finds out his wind style is his thing.
Yeah,
which was like another cool bit. Because they did like a Hunter x Hunter where you had to hold like a leaf and put chakra through it, and whatever it did would show you what type you had.
Yeah, that's like the water in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah,
They
put a leaf in water, and then they like put Nen through it and how it reacts
and see what it does. Yeah.
They did the same thing with that, and then Naruto's his wind style, and then they were like, "Oh, that's bad because fire shits all over wind style and Sasuke uses fire," and he was like, "Oh man."
Like Naruto needed any more reasons. So that's the last of his problems. But then they were like,
"But it's good against lightning," which he also has. He was like, "Oh, can I guess?"
Oh, great. So you mean he's got two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did that with the what was it called when they had like special unique abilities?
Keka Genkai.
Because they retconned Kekkei Genkais
Mm.
and said a Kekkei Genkai was when you like mastered two elements and fused them together.
I don't remember that, but it definitely
That
like,
was
you've said it to before.
the like ginger hair Mitsukage or whatever it was who had like that lava jutsu and the acid jutsu.
Yeah.
They were like they retconned it there because she was like, oh, I've got like 3 Kekkei Genkai because I know all the elements and I just keep putting them together.
No,
But when
it's not
you watch
Magica.
when like Haku,
Yeah.
like his Kekkei Genkai was
It's the
like
ice prism, right?
ice prism, yeah, which was just they were born with it and they just could just do it.
Well, they translate it in the early Naruto in English to bloodline trait.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a bloodline trait. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what Orochimaru wanted a Sharingan, so because he wanted to like Pokemon master it and collect all the jutsus, didn't he? He wanted to catch them all, and he needed a Sharingan so he could watch someone do it and then keep it.
And then do
like
it.
they
yeah.
should have
Like
done, but they
should have
never
done,
did.
And then never did later on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Kekkei
Like-
Genkais totally go out the window as
They
well.
totally go
yeah.
out the window, yeah.
And they start just being like, it's my Kekkei Genkai. It can, I don't know, sand. It's and they just start like going up like, my village is over there, so that means we can just do some dumb bullshit. And they're just trying to, they totally fall flat on it, don't they?
They're yeah. Because there were some really weird ones in the fillers as well. There's one where like some guy just looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I remember I didn't watch all of the. I just remember the back end of it. I was like,
Is he like, this is my Kekkei Genkai to be hideous as fuck?
basically, yeah. And then like, all of a sudden it like, it just like the skin just exploded off of them, and there was like a fairy on the inside, and it was like really pretty and had wings, and they were
Not
like,
what's on the outside.
they were like,
that
this is
counts.
what it really is,
Yeah.
and then I was just like, what?
You judged me. Like what? Well, all these filler writers clutching at straws for
Yeah.
things to do. You watched a lot of filler, didn't you?
Just some interesting ones.
You remember a lot of filler though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Itachi having a girlfriend filler?
I don't
That's just in the ether. I've seen it around.
remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think in one of the stories, have you read both the stories for Itachi?
No, only
I think
one.
I think in one of them there was a girl who really liked him
Mm.
because I remember reading somewhere that when he kills everyone in the village, he puts like her in a genjutsu where they're like together.
Mm.
So as like he like stabs her or whatever he does, like all she sees is them two like living together and getting married and stuff.
Can you imagine if he did that and she didn't really have a crush on him? She was like, "Why the fuck are you killing me and making us live together for a lifetime?"
What is this torture?
Yeah, boy, get off me. Because they have
I mean, there was that filler bit. Actually, I don't know I think it was in the actual story. That bit where Itachi makes Sasuke breakfast.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Because that's actual story bits in like the eternal genjutsu thing that everyone got put under when the moon wakes up. Where he casts like that massive Sharingan on the moon.
Oh,
And it puts everyone in an illusion.
was that Itachi
They
who
do
did
like
that?
it was Madara.
Madara who did.
They do
that,
like
yeah.
a Gurren Lagann where everyone's like trapped in their own dreams. And
Infinite
they all...
Tsukiyomi was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it was that, and then, like
Yeah.
it shows each character, but in the anime, it does it for like 50 episodes. I
Does
think.
it really?
It does it for a long, long time.
Just gotta get.
It just, each character gets just like an episode of them trapped in their dream.
I'd let Itachi make me breakfast. I gotta be honest.
Gotta be real.
Yeah, let's be real. Well, my dream would probably just be living with Hinata. Just having a good time.
Yeah.
Jake, what would yours be?
Mine would be just a weekend away with the boys. Mike Guy and Rock Lee. We're gonna go train until we pass out and bleed out our dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll give me a green spandex and leg weights.
So you can join in and a wig. Starting to feel like we could do with winding down.
Winding down,
Starting to wind
yeah.
down a bit.
I
But
feel like it's been a good.
it has
go
been a
out
good
there.
one. This is just a ramble, wasn't it? I'm
Yeah,
just
we've been thinking about doing a few of these.
Yeah.
Just pick an anime that we want to talk about for a while and
and just ramble about
just ramble.
it. Yeah.
You know.
So to anyone who's watched to the end of this, if you've got anything you want to talk, specifically Naruto, if people
Yeah.
have got specific parts of Naruto that they want us to talk about, just
Yeah.
let us know. We will happily do it.
Yeah,
Um,
obviously, like, you know, some of the people who listen to this are going to watch it, they're going to have bits they enjoyed. Send us your favourite bits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like send us clips or anything. The contact descript like details are in the show notes. Yeah. Well, as I'm editing this, I'll probably come up with little ideas that we could do anyway, because like we've jumped off on a whole like, what the fuck happened to X and where did Y go and what would your A and B be? Like we should do more of that, I think.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
But also we're definitely going. We've got like 5 more episodes worth, probably more of just shit. We like just rambling.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about Naruto in our free time, so we're just gonna start saving it for the podcast.
Start recording it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
So thanks everyone.
And,
we will. I have no idea what we're doing next week.
We'll get there when we get there. Catch you next time, guys.
See everyone next time. Bye.